make sure you have some water. Stay hydrated. And then we're going to be doing pigeon for our hips tonight. So make sure you have a pillow or a couch cushion, or even roll up that sweatshirt depending on what's available nearby. And then, of course, your yoga mat or a towel if you have one. And then, also a yoga tie or a strap, a curtain tassel, 2 socks tied together, anything. It just helps a little bit working into the shoulders. So, well, we have some time to take that. Okay, everyone have their props?
Yes.
There's my other prop right there.
Oh, she's so quiet.
Aww.
Aww. So more people might join us, but I'm going to mute everybody just so folks don't get distracted and your sound doesn't cut out. But I will be checking in with folks, so just give me a thumbs up, or a thumbs down. And as you've heard me say in class many times, that this is your practice. I'm just a guide. So if something I'm offering doesn't quite work for you today, maybe hips or shoulders are a little bit extra sore, maybe something's going on, just be mindful of that. Be kind to your body, be kind to yourselves, especially now. And bring just as much love to your mat at home as you would in the confines of a yoga studio, okay? All right, wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, mute folks. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is find a nice comfortable seat. I recommend taking that pillow or rolling up that sweatshirt, maybe you have a blanket handy, and placing it right under your bottom and then drawing yourself forward so that your sit bones are driving directly into the cushion. And maybe that helps you elevate your hips just a little bit and those knees can come up. Making sure at most you're comfortable. Allow your chin to tuck down. Head is heavy. I invite you to close your eyes here. Taking a moment to center in your practice, pressing the hands down onto the thighs. Now slowly drag them back about mid-thigh and then bring those elbows in nice to the ribs like we do in our chaturanga. But I just want to focus here on opening the heart and letting that chest widen and expand. And then try and touch that chin right to the heart. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck, letting everything release. And then as we inhale, gaze comes up, opening, 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 and then allow your head to drop back. And then eventually coming back to neutral. Finding that neutral spine once more. Invite the arms to open up now, along with the eyes. And then as we inhale, arms come up, 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 up to the sky. Let your palms face one another here. We're going to draw those shoulders straight up against the earlobes, bringing them back. Press your wings together and then drop them down as if you're making sure that shoulder girdle is completely integrated. With those shoulders down, we're going to exhale and slowly sweep the arms down, down, down to the earth, getting ready for 3 more sun breaths as we inhale and rise up, lifting nice and tall, 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 tall. Good. Exhale. Remember to drive those shoulders back like you're trying to create extra space in your armpits, and those shoulders are coming away from the earlobes. You want to get tension out of the neck. Bring those shoulders back even further now, and your fingertips, let's see if they can touch the earth behind you. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you want to put them on some blocks. We want to think about releasing the back body as well as the front. Now on your next inhalation, sweep the hands forward, letting them rise up super, super, super tall. Good. Now interlace the fingers. Exhale, press them straight up to the sky. Your palms are trying to touch the sky. Wrists are shining upward. And then this is where we're going to drive down. Think heavy. Press your sit bones into that pillow or the earth. Good. Getting into that side body stretch. We think about going forward so much. We want to create some space in the rest of the body. We're going to press into that left sit bone and then begin to open up on towards the right side. So that left side is trying to find extra space in between each and every rib cage, even as we lean, 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 lean to that right side. Good. Inhale, belly button to spine, rising up nice and tall. And then let's go ahead and push all the way over to the opposite side. This time it's your right sits bone that's really pushing down as we lean to the left. And it's that right side body trying to make space between each and every rib. Maybe press the hands out, elongate the arms a little bit further, and then as you inhale, engage your abdominal muscles. This time, as you begin to lean over to the right hand tries to weigh down the left, and then we're going to release that hand, bringing it down next to the hip. Palm is going to face down, and then maybe, just maybe, we can push a little bit further, coming over, making a nice little C curve. Think about that C change we want to make in the world. Good. Inhale. Arm lifts up, pull yourself up like you're taking hold of a lasso. Arms come back up, nice and tall, V for victory. Hands come together. Once again, interlace the fingers, release tension in the wrists. And then as we push back over towards that left side, opening the right, it's your left hand that's weighing you down. The right side is reaching, and then you're going to release that, letting it come to the earth next to the hip, maybe push it further away. Flip the hand so that the palm is pressing down. Again, think about that C. Good. Leaning over, over, over. Maybe your right side is trying to open up just a tad bit more now as we warm up the body. Inhale, core engages. Arms come up together. Good. Now go ahead and pat yourself on the back for coming to class via Zoom today. And you're going to take that left hand and rest it on the right elbow. Your right hand is going somewhere in between your shoulder blades or towards the back of the neck. Palm is pressing into it. This is where we can stretch our triceps. So invite that hand to come further back, almost so it's parallel to the right ear. Maybe those fingers walk down a little bit more, and then as you exhale, arm comes straight out from the shoulder, palm goes down. This is where you bend at that elbow, that little hinge, and your fingertips come together. Perhaps they touch, perhaps they don't. If they don't, this is where you can use through tying or take hold of either side of the t-shirt, whichever works for you. Invite that left elbow to press down to the hip, even as that right elbow is pushing up to the sky. Really think about opening the chest as well as releasing tension in the shoulders. And then finally letting the neck come in for that release, pulling that chin in down towards the heart. Deep breath in, deep breath out. As we inhale, gaze comes back to neutral. Release that left hand first, let it come up. V for victory, release, good. Hands come up, we let the wrist release, good. And then we're going to come back and once again pat ourselves on the back. This time it's that left hand, and it's your right hand that's holding onto the left elbow. I'm going to turn so you can see in the camera, and I'm also going to demonstrate what a tie is good for if you want to try and experiment with that. So as I turn, you're going to, again, pat yourself on the back, pulling a tie or a strap, like I said, or two socks together. And then you can bring that left hand back behind you, and you can walk the hands towards one another. This is really helpful if your shoulders are super tight. So as you walk the hands nice and close on either side of the tie, we're getting that benefit of the stretch without any extra strain in the shoulder girdle. Invite that left elbow now to come down as that right arm reaches up. And then finally release the head. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Release the arm first. Let it sway upward. Release the tie, and then your right arm comes, and then your once go back from V for victory to interlacing the fingers, and then as we exhale, Hands come back down. Now come out of your easy, comfortable seat. We're gonna come onto a tabletop position. Make sure you have your pillow or cushion not on the mat, but somewhere nearby when we get to our good friend pigeon. But starting for that tabletop, and Zoom is really nice in a way because you can actually use the camera almost as a mirror. And I can see if I'm swaying my back, my hips are up, if I'm slacking off, right? We want to think nice, strong 4 pillars. Hands directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. Press your toes into the earth behind you and let your head hang heavy here so no strain in the neck. With 3 cat and cows to continue warming up the spine, we're going to inhale and lift our bottom as well as our nose, rising up into cow, reminding the shoulders to come away from the earlobes, even as we feel that bend in the spine. And then transitioning, rounding the spine, head comes super heavy. Find that lovely arch known as cat. Think about a nice little hiss before we inhale back to tabletop and then rise up once more. And then as we exhale, head comes down. Maybe let it be a little bit longer this time. Inhale one more time to rise. Exhale one more time to lower. Let's go ahead and press our bottom all the way back. Let it rest on the heels for now instead of our extended child. We're going to try and compress that belly right onto the back of the shins and then slide the arms out this way just so we can get a little bit extra of a low back stretch. And your forehead presses down to the earth or maybe that pillow you have nearby. And then as we inhale, slide the hands up to you and then work your way back to that tabletop position once more. Getting a little bit of fun here with balance and activating our core. We're going to shift that weight from 4 pillars to a 3-legged stool. So getting lots of support here, both hands, both knees charging into the earth. Leave the hands where they are, but now shift your weight over into that left knee as well as the left toes. Pulling that right knee nice and close into the belly. Notice that foot is coming up. You're going to exhale with a hop and kick it out behind you. Flex the foot. And then slowly look forward. Make sure that neck isn't straining. So you're looking about 3 to 5 inches down on the floor. Now we can go ahead and release that foot down to the earth. Come like so. And then go ahead and take a peek over that right shoulder. Push that right heel back, getting a nice stretch into that heel. Gaze comes forward. Lifting that right leg again. We can stay here if we want to add on, coming into full bird dog. That left arm comes forward even as that right leg comes back. Now flex that foot really firmly. It has a tendency to drop back. So we're going to lift it up nice and high even as that thumb is reaching, reaching, reaching. Good. Exhale, hand comes down. This time as we take a peek over our shoulder, you're going to take that leg, cross it over to the other side. So this time it's your right foot that's now past the left side. Take a nice little deep C curve stretch into the back. Good. Inhale, come forward. Come back to your knees. Now wide-legged child. Open the knees up to the very edges of your mat. Your big toes are going to come together, forming a little triangle. Exhale. Bring the belly all the way down towards the thighs, towards the earth, even as you slide forward, 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 down on the mat. Your forehead presses down, your shoulders and your hips shift back, and your breath releases fully. 3 full in and out right here. As we inhale and that gaze comes forward, chin rests on the mat. Hands slide back, bring those elbows in. As we lift the heart, the bottom comes down and you're opening the chest. Now tilt the gaze so you're looking at the mat, not straining the neck. Scoop the belly, lift the knees, let them come behind you. Walk yourself back to that tabletop position. Getting ready for the opposite side. Hands stay nice and stable. Now we're shifting our weight over to that right knee. Pull the left knee nice and close into the belly, and with a ha, kick it out behind you, flexing that foot. I'll know if you don't say ha. Okay, good. Gaze is forward. Now, we're going to slowly release that foot down, take a peek over our left shoulder, and make sure that that heel is pressing, pressing, pressing away from you so you can really get into the calf. This is a great calf stretch. It's so wonderful, especially after running or cycling or hiking. All right, gaze comes forward. Shift the weight of your body forward to the shoulders or over the hands. Again, lift that back leg. Now an option to add on full bird dog, lifting the opposite hand. So this time it's my left heel and my right thumb that are trying to come into parallel lines once more. Steady, even breath. Use your core strength. Let that right hand come down and go ahead and release that leg, this time bringing it over. So you're taking a peek over the shoulder, maybe wiggle the toes. It's your left foot that's now over on that right side. And once again, maybe lean into that C curve. Good, gaze comes forward, lift that leg, knees come down. Let's see if we can come a little bit wider. Extended child, knees come out. Arms come back. Slide the hands forward. Maybe this is the time to take hold of the mat, with the top of the mat with your hands, and then push yourself way, way, way back. Releasing to the mat, 3 breaths. Let everything go. As we inhale, gaze comes forward, chin rests on the mat, hands slide back, heart opens, opens, opens up, chin tucks. Good, we're gonna lift the knees, bring them down, bring them together, and then as we rise up nice and tall onto our knees, bring your hands to your hips. Nice and stable here, we're gonna get ready, work those hips a little bit more in lunge. Pushing the left knee and the left toes down, you're going to engage your core, and then as you inhale, lift and bring that right foot in front of you. Make sure that the right ankle is in direct alignment with that right knee. Good. Now, invite the arms to release from the hips, swoop the arms up wide, find that V for victory, and then let's invite a baby back bend here, finding our first Anjaneyasana. So as your arms open, the thumbs pull back. Good, heart opens, neck opens, mind opens. Good, exhale as we hinge forward, slowly coming down. Maybe the hands rest here, or maybe they continue working again into the shoulders, lifting up behind you. And again, your head's gonna hang heavy. And then as we exhale, hands come back onto the hips. Good. Little bit of core strength here. We're going to invite that right knee to come back. You're standing on the knees. We're going to shift that weight into that right knee, as well as your right toes. Use that abdominal strength to lift in place in one movement. And again, if you lift and the foot comes over here, and notice how far ahead that knee is, you're just going to give it a little scholarship and make sure that that foot comes forward until eventually, again, ankle and knee are in one nice position. Hands can rest here, and then invite yourself to open up, and then soar wide apart. Heart opens. Maybe if our back is feeling comfortable, we can lean a little bit further back. If our back is tender, we're going to stay more erect. Find what works for your body. And then as we exhale, hinge forward, pull the hips and the bottom back as the arms come forward, swooping the arms back behind you, lifting the arms. Everyone, it's beautiful. Slowly lift, 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 check into those shoulders. And then as we inhale, coming back up, hands come onto the hips once more. Knees come back. And then we're going to transition into tabletop for a moment, and then our good friend down dog. So as the hands come down, we're going to make sure those knees are hip width apart, because that's where we want our feet to be. Curl the back toes. Remember, your bottom wants to push way back and then straighten the legs, finding that inverted V. Check your hand placement here, making sure the creases of the wrist line up with the front edge of the mat. And now take a look at your feet. Could you spread those feet open a little bit wider? Could you shift the weight back into your ankles a little bit more? Could you possibly straighten those legs? Are you still breathing? What can you let go of? Steady, even breath in and out for 3. Good. Bring your gaze forward, and then this is where we want to make sure that that pillow we were hoping for, or yoga block, or something handy. We're going to come into half pigeon, so it's nice to have a prop nearby. Have that over on your right side, if possible. If you don't have anything handy, we're just going to improvise, right? So gaze is forward, shift your weight back even further. Now we're going to swing that right leg up. Really reach it all the way to the sky like you're trying to leave footprints on your ceiling. Good. Now as we exhale, bend that knee, bring it forward, but then swivel that knee out. So as the shin comes forward, that right knee is going to rest down with the kneecap somewhere behind that wrist. And I'm dragging my back leg, my left leg behind me. I'm releasing that foot. This is where I'm going to tent my fingers and come up, nice and open in the chest. Now you'll notice that there is a big old gap for a lot of us right here. So to keep our hips nice and level and make sure that this is a good pose, especially for our sciatic nerve and our hips, we're gonna release that bottom to come down onto the pillow or the blanket, whatever you have. Once we do that, maybe, just maybe, as we press our hands down, we can bring that right knee slightly back and that right foot slightly forward towards that left hand. Try and keep the hips as parallel as possible. Perhaps we're going to sit here. Perhaps we're going to take pressure off of our wrists and bring ourselves and make nice little fists. Perhaps, if the low back permits, we can bring our hands onto our thigh and really sit up and stretch. And hopefully that feels really good in that left quad as well as right hip. And then as we exhale, the hands are going to come down. And then finding our way to resting pigeon. Forearms come down to the earth. Interlace the fingers. And again, if you have a second pillow or block here, otherwise the head is going to come down onto the hands. We're going to do a full count of 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale. So as we roll the shoulders back, try to draw that right hip slightly forward, left hip slightly back. Maybe extend that leg just a millimeter or 2 longer. And then let everything else settle in the body. Let the breath take over. Two more. As we inhale, the gaze lifts, the shoulders come back, hands are going to come back. Let your heart open up, and then again, roll those shoulders back so you're really bringing that heart through the gateway of your arms. Curl the back left toes, and then this is where we get ready to use our friend momentum. We're going to push the hips back and swing that right leg back, shaking it out nice and vigorously 2 or 3 times before we find our down dog. Again, check to make sure the feet are placed parallel, the hips are pushing back. We're finding that nice inverted V. I'm going to take the time to move that pillow over to the left side so I can grab that nice and easy because we're going to transition to the left. Pulling back, back, back. We're going to lift that left leg all the way up to the sky. Let it reach. And then as you exhale, knee comes into the chest before swiveling out. Now as your left knee comes down behind that left hand, drag that right leg back, nice and gentle. Release the knee, release the foot, one long line. Pushing yourself up, let's see if we can make some room. Pulling that left knee back, maybe that foot comes a little bit closer towards that right hand, and then take your prop and push it directly under that left glute so you can have some support. Your hips can be once again parallel. Tent the fingers or come on up right onto the fists. Check in the variations between the left side and the right side of the body here. And maybe invite the hands to come up a little bit taller. When you're ready, slowly come back down. Forearms come ahead. This time cross that opposite thumb. So if it feels wrong, it's probably right because you're so used to one side versus the other. And then letting your body settle into the earth. Adjust, pulling that left hip back, right hip forward once more. Straightening that back leg. Let's see if there's anything else you can let go of. What else can you flatten out while you do your count of 5? As we inhale, gaze is going to lift, shoulders push back, walk the hands back, heart stays open, head tilts down, release the neck. Curl the back toes, get ready to swing that left leg back for all it's worth and shake it to the sky before we exhale and then find that inverted V once more. Go ahead and move that pillow off to the side and then you can step, walk, or maybe bend the knees and have a little nice jump. As you bring the feet to the hands to the feet, straighten the legs, and now come into your ragdoll. Good, slowly begin to lift one vertebrae at a time until you come all the way up, bringing the arms up above the head. And then as you exhale, release, hands are gonna come back down. And then this is where you can bring your hands to your hips and then come down one knee at a time for balance, or any other way that you transition, coming back down onto the earth. Good. All right, we're gonna come into some more twists now. So starting with your legs nice and long. If you have access to a wall that you want to use for support, just to make sure those shoulder blades are pushing back behind you, go ahead and claim that space now. Hands come down either side of the thighs, toes are shining up to the sky. Bring that right knee in nice and close. And as you nestle that top of the thigh right in towards the chest, you're gonna lift that right foot and bring it on over towards that left side. So now your right big toe is the leftmost item facing your left. Good. Keep those fingers interlaced, but maybe bring that in a little bit closer and see if you can push that left leg out a little bit more, keeping those toes pointing up to the sky. That left foot is active here. Now, we're gonna keep that right hand where it is, but extend that left arm straight out. We're gonna hook the elbow around the knee. Hand is going to rest on the outside of the right thigh. That's going to leave our left arm free to reach all the way up. And then driving our belly button to our spine, protecting our core. We're gonna exhale and turn, opening. Bringing that arm out, beautiful, and then drawing it down. Eventually, you're gonna bring the inside of the wrist straight up against your imaginary jean pocket on that right side. And now as we begin to twist and deepen, press that forearm into the back body a little bit more. Hook the elbow around the knee, kind of use it as a lever. And as we twist deeper, let's see if that chin can hover on or near that right shoulder, taking a peek behind us. Look out for any animals sneaking up on us. Good, exhale, chin comes down. Head comes down, releasing the neck nice and slow. This is where your right arm is going to swing all the way up. Good. And then your hands come back down. So where you can take that leg, give it a nice little shake, and then measure it, see if one side feels a little bit longer than the other with that stretch. And because we want to even things out in yoga, let's do the same with the left. Finding that nice tall seat, bringing the knee nice and close into the chest, activate that right leg. Again, toes are pointing to that sky. Imagine you're standing here on that right foot. Pull it in, like you're making contact with the rib and the top of the thigh. Invite that foot to come over. So now it's your left big toe that's the furthermost right point. And then this time it's your left hand that's going to stay stable as you reach out with that big open arm. You're going to take that right elbow and that right hand is going to hook to the outside of that left thigh. Left arm comes up, getting ready to twist. Again, core engages so we can protect from the low back, working its way up. Reaching open to the sky. And now as we exhale, arm comes back behind us. And then eventually, again, inside of the wrist is coming up against that imaginary jean pocket, this time on the left side. So as we pull that shoulder back, imagine your belly button is trying to touch the inside of the left thigh this time. Invite that elbow to hook around the knee a little bit more. Squeeze another ounce of juice out of the twist if it feels good. Turn the gaze so you're looking just over, maybe just behind that left shoulder. And then coming in out of the pose as slowly as possible. Chin tucks in and into the heart. Once it comes towards the center, that left arm is going to come up, and then your hands are going to come down to meet it. Lift that leg, shake it out, and then measure the feet. Hopefully that the legs are both the same length again, and things are feeling a little bit easier. Good. Now we're going to come into a forward fold. And again, if you have a tie at home, that's fantastic. We're going to do this twice because I really want to make sure that spine is warmed up. The first time I'm going to demonstrate without a prop. The second time I will with it. So maybe moving any excess flesh from our sit bones, sitting up nice and tall, hands press on the thighs, shoulders pull back. We're going to slowly walk the hands down to the thighs. Remember, as you come to the knees, the feet are still shining up. Now, core engages, and instead of like trying to slump, we're going to think about lifting up and then just going forward, hinging at the hips 1 millimeter at a time. Nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Once you find you can come no further without rounding your back, you're going to slowly and gently bring yourself back to that completely erect 90-degree angle. And then as you work your way back into those hip flexors, which might be tight, invite the hands to travel on down. Maybe they're holding the top of the shins, maybe they're on the side of the calves. Eventually, you're going to turn your gaze so you're looking in between your kneecaps. And then maybe those hands are going to rest, again, on the shins, maybe down towards the ankles. Or if it's comfortable to you, you can take hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. As we inhale, everyone lifts their heart. No matter where their hands are, you're going to open up to the chest. Good. And then as you exhale, maybe we can bend those elbows and come a little bit further forward. Slowly leaning. Head hangs heavy, maybe your eyes closed. Check in with your back body as your front body compresses. As we inhale, the gaze comes up, shoulders pull back, core really fires up here. We're going to let the hands rest on the shins and then work ourselves back up, one vertebrae at a time until we're finding ourselves nice and tall. Good. Now, this is, again, if you're at home, you can really, really start to get creative with your props and your ties. I demoed facing the front the first time. This time I'm going to turn, so I'm in an angle, and you can see where I am this time. I'm also going to use a strap. So second time around, and if you don't have one, you can follow it along just as we did the first option. But since I have a strap, and if you have something at home, whether even if it's like a long t-shirt, socks you can tie around one another, find something that you can wrap around both feet. Notice my feet are flexed, the heels come down, and then I can bring my arms back. So notice I have a nice 90-degree bend in my elbows as my gaze is forward. Again, drawing the hips, think heavy as you push your weight down between your sits bones and your heels, you're going to sit up that much taller. Now, as we hinge forward, elbows in, still nice and close, slowly check in with the spine. We did a nice warm up. Maybe tuck that chin, and then eventually allow that spine to slowly round, and as you do so, invite the fingers to start creeping up the sides of the thigh so they're coming closer and closer towards the feet. If at any point your low back is saying, we're going to bring it on back until that back is happy, okay? So as we come forward, we're, again, really thinking about, and using our abdominal strength here, even as we're pushing the feet into the thigh and using this as a lovely, lovely stretch for the hamstrings. As you exhale, forward, 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 belly coming towards the top of the thighs. Now your gaze is once again going to shift in between the knees. We know what our feet look like. We don't have to strain our neck for them anymore. And then maybe those hands are going to come closer or further away from the feet. If it's accessible and you want to take hold of the feet and you want to drop the thigh for the moment, you're welcome to do so, but work with where your back is happiest. And again, 3 full breaths in and out. As we inhale, gaze lifts up, take hold of the thigh. We're going to use that support to harness our energy in the core and slowly, slowly, slowly work our way back up. Notice there's no rush, there's no urgency. We want to take the same amount of time transitioning out of the pose as in it until we're super tall once more. At that point, you can release your props, if you have them, hands on either side of the hips, and then release those feet. Good. We're going to come down onto the floor now so we can do some bridge work. So make sure you have enough room on your mat that you can come down below. Options for Pilates roll down. We're going to all super glue our feet to the earth, pressing the knees together, and then this is where you really want to make sure you sit forward so you're not slumping like so. You're sitting forward, up, 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 up. Now, if low back is tender, your hands can come behind you, and you can slowly transition down this way. If you'd like, the hands can come onto the knees if you pull back, or you option for full Pilates roll down and make sure that those knees stay pressed together. That's going to help with your strength and feet super glued to the earth. So sitting up super tall, we're going to exhale in 1 vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow and controlled. Making sure you keep giving yourself 2 thumbs up for takeoff. Enjoying the transition time, right? Really feeling that heart center, all of that energy in the belly. And as you continue to roll down, back of the shoulders, back of the head, back of the hands, all come down to the earth and you release. Now, pull the knees into the chest. We're going to give ourselves a nice little massage in the low back. Maybe rocking over to the left side and then right. The left side and the right. A couple more times for your own comfort and adjustment as you see fit. Okay. Once the knees come in back to center, let them come to stillness. From here, we're going to work ourselves into bridge. So feet come both down to the earth. Palms are coming down so that your hands are actually touching the mat. Thumbs are near your glutes. Okay, roll those shoulders back. Push your wings into the earth like you're trying to leave two angel wing indentations in the snow. Heart is open. Good. Walk those feet in a little bit closer. We're going to keep our hands here for the first set. So as we exhale, push the feet really firmly into the earth and then inhale and lift the hips up nice and high. Now keep the knees parallel and your gaze is going to stay at the sky rather than turning your head because we don't want to twerk our neck in this pose. So inhale, imagine lifting this hips, lifting that belt buckle a little bit higher. And then as we exhale, slow, gentle transition all the way down. Good. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Nice little sigh. Whew. Okay, good. Second time, I'm going to offer arm position where you bring your arms into Yoga Mudra. However, if you have any shoulder issues that this is not comfortable, you can certainly keep your hands exactly where they are. Getting ready to go level 2 with this. Feet walk back in. Knees stay parallel, not touching, not knocking out. Imagine you're holding a yoga block lengthwise. Good. Shoulders roll back. Inhale, and then as you press into the feet, really push up and lift with the hips. High, high, high. Ideally, our heart is coming above our head. Good. Now we're going to roll that left shoulder and left thumb coming to the tail. Right shoulder, right thumb. This is where you have to remind those knees to come parallel. We're going to press those thumbs into the tailbone, lifting up, 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 nice and tall. Use the hands. Now check with your mind's eye the placement of the knees. Push the feet into the earth. Maybe we can walk the feet back a little bit closer to our hands, but then we really have to push into the feet. Think about like creating a nice double-decker bus here. Rising up, second level bridge. Higher, 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 reaching up, up, up to the sky. Really feel that stretch, especially in the hips and the quads. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. 5 more. If you'd like, you can always come in and come out of it as you choose. One more all together. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. As you exhale, slowly and gently transition. Your hands are going to come down, down, down onto the earth. Once your sacrum is pressing into the hands, you can release the left hand and then the right. Let the body release all the way onto the earth for a moment. So we're going to extend the legs straight out. Palms are open to the sky. Allow your eyes to close. Let the body reset. And then one last twist. Pull the knees back into the heart. We're going to get ready for double knee down twist. So make sure you have enough room wherever you're at. You might want to bring your hips to one side of the mat. We're going to keep those knees pulling into the chest and then extend both arms out in a nice T position with your palms facing down. From here, you're going to invite both knees to drop over towards the right side. Now, both shoulders want to stay on the earth to protect the low back, even as that hip comes up. Flex the bottom foot so you can take that top foot and use that bottom as a rudder, resting, maybe interlacing the big toes. Perhaps we can walk those knees up a little bit higher to really get into that low back. Bend the right elbow, let that right hand rest on top of the left knee, and then finally gently transition. So you're turning and looking over your extended fingertips on that left side. Invite the eyes to close, perhaps, or adopt a soft gaze. We'll be here for a count of 5 breaths in and out. Pull that chin straight across the collarbone until the back of the head is resting on the earth and you're looking up at the sky. This is where you can release that top hand to come back to the other side, back to that T position. Pull that left knee into the chest. Let the right one follow. Maybe rock a side or two one more time. And then this time we're going to hitch both hips over to the right side. And then invite those knees, both of them, to drop on over to the left. Knees stay bent. So let's flex the feet. This time it's your left foot that's the bottom, using as a rudder. And that top foot can hook right on top. Good. Invite that left elbow to bend while still touching the earth. And your hand is going to come towards the top of that top leg. So maybe somewhere towards the knee. I like it a little bit up on the thigh. Find what works is comfortable for you. Make sure both shoulder blades are staying pressed into the earth. Now invite the neck, the head, the gaze, all the turn, looking over the extended fingertips of the right hand, or maybe even allowing the eyes to close or the gaze to soften. Invite those knees to come a little bit closer if you want to deepen that stretch a tad. And once again, 5 breaths this side. If there are any areas of tightness you're feeling in your body, especially the low back, try to direct your breath there. As you inhale, chin pulls straight across the collarbone until your gaze is up at the sky once more. This time it's your left hand that's going to come down to the earth. We're going to pull that right knee into the belly along with the left, and hands come onto the knees. We're going to rock side to side once more, massaging the low back, making sure that sacrum gets lots of love. Okay, good. Release both feet down to the earth. Flip the palms up to the sky. We're going to extend first one leg and then the other, maybe the feet splay out. We're going to roll those shoulders back so that the heart is open. Maybe tuck the chin, and as your eyes close, gently rock it side to side, a time or two. And then up and down, releasing that neck. And then finally, if you haven't already, allow your eyes to close, your breath to become still and deep, and to take this time in our mini Shavasana to fully release.
keeping your eyes closed and your breath steady. Gather the knees back up in towards the heart, giving yourself a nice hug for showing up for yourselves, for your bodies, for your souls today. Rolling over onto one side, tuck into a fetal position so you find a nice little curl pose. And then as you're going to take that top hand and press it in front of you, using that top hand to help you lift, using that bottom arm to follow. We're going to gently work ourselves back into an upright position, cross-legged or arms extended at the center of the mat. Finding ourselves together once more, bringing your hands to your heart, allowing your eyes to close, your chin to tuck. Remembering to practice self-care in this most challenging times, and continue to breathe. Nice deep full breath in all together. Nice deep full breath out all together. As you fill your lungs with air once more, lift the chin, lift the eyes, lift the corners of your mouth. Namaste.